Biggest lesson you learned about your team last year would have been what?
Oh gosh, being in first year head coach at a program that I was familiar with in the area, but had never taught at or coached at or been on staff at. The biggest lesson that I learned is that our kids deserve to win just like everybody else. Programs upwards of almost 70 years old, 2 playoff appearances. That's the tradition at Brantley County High School football. And so ingrained and embedded in that is a culture from football team's perspective of losing. And it's my job to change that. And we're 1 year in. I took the job the season before they'd won 1 game. We won 2. So we'll call it progress. And we hope to win more this year. And just getting the kids to buy in and understand that there's more, not to scoreboard watch. There's more to it than winning the game, sure, but our kids deserve to win just like everybody else.
What did you learn about yourself as a head coach?
That I can't do it by myself. Naturally, as a leader, I understand delegating and how important that is. But just being able to rely on my wife, making sure that I'm making time for her and my children, along with just having 70 other sons, was very important, and to lean on good friends and a good, a healthy spiritual life, keep me grounded and understand that I certainly can't do it on my own.
Was it hard to sit there and reach out? Because I know that there are a lot of us, regardless of what we do for a living, who sit there and we're big mother hens about what we do. And to sit there and go, yeah, I kind of need some help here to make things go down. Are you that big a mother hen?
Absolutely, because I was an accountant before I got into education. I've been a math teacher for 17 years, so I'm very just, analytical, precise, details matter, small things. And there was some of that I just needed to let go and trust that I have surrounded myself with people who are capable. But, much less X's and O's, a lot more relationships, making sure the kids are okay, talking to parents, being out in the community, things like that. I've done less football in the 18 months I've been the head coach at Brantley County, than I have in a long time being an assistant or coordinator.
Is there an accounting principle that you could directly relate to being a football coach?
Absolutely. There's a lot, actually. A lot of it has to do with there not being any gray area when it comes to what you put in is what you're going to get out. So debits and credits and those kinds of things, algebra, which I love. I don't do much geometry. That's to me, it's not who I am. There's too many postulates and theorems and things of that nature. But algebra is foundational and pretty cut and dry, and it's easy to apply to life and to football for sure.
So when you're looking at algebra and accounting and apply it to 70 young men, yeah, I know sometimes it's A plus B equals C, but there are times when you have to sit there and look and balance different kinds of equations to get the result that you're looking for. How, when you're trying to build a culture, this is probably one of the longest equations on a whiteboard that you've ever had to tackle.
Sure.
Where do you think you are on that big whiteboard with this big calculus equation that is a football program?
Right. Well, I do feel that we've at least gotten written down. We have the plan in place, and we're just going into year 2 and executing that plan. All the guys that make millions of dollars and all those people will tell you, a culture rebuild and a program rebuild should take 3 years. I'm not sure. I'm not sure it'll take longer, or that this year we might be more successful than we will in the following year. I've just got a great group of kids, and that's another thing you learn early on, just as a football coach, is, man, I can really have it figured out on offense, defense, and special teams. But if I don't have the kids to go out and execute, to understand alignment and assignment, if I can't teach it, and a staff that I'm on can't teach it or communicate it, or well enough, then it just doesn't matter. So we've got the plan in place. We're still pretty early on in execution. Getting through that first year was great for us. We were favored in those 2 games that we won. We weren't favored in the 8 that we lost. We were either tied or winning 4 of those 8 losses, though. We were in the football games, and for a lot of them, we shouldn't have been. So that was a big first step for us. Now we've got the big test is let's win 1 or more where we're not favored, and let's go play football.
What's your biggest concern these days as a head football coach?
Oh gosh.
I told you we were going to get philosophical.
Yeah. My biggest concern, just as a football coach, the tide is really turning with what our role really, really is. Like I'm not sure a 32-year-old Ed Dudley, who was my football coach at Walton High School, my senior year, was having to take as much time as we are now, or that he probably is now at Winterboro, with the importance of relationships and the importance of these kids coming from broken homes, and it's just really different, and it's headed more in that direction every year. So I'm passionate about father absence, and a lot of single parent homes. A lot of grandmamas, a lot of mamas, and I'm passionate about that because I stand firm personally on some biblical truths about manhood, and so it's a big part of my role is to teach that and to communicate that in an effective way. There's no better classroom than the practice field. There's no better classroom than the weight room. There's no better classroom than a stadium on Friday nights in the fall.
Is Ed Dudley on your speed dial?
Oh, we talk often. He's been a mentor of mine for a long time. He got that job going into my senior year, and so I was able to tell our seniors when I got the job at Brantley last year that I know what they're going through. I know what it feels like, and I'm hoping that I connected with a handful of them as well as that I connected with my high school football coach my senior year. And we talk often. I lean heavy on him. He's he's been doing it a while now, and I trust him. And we enjoy going back and forth regarding certain decisions that need to be made that are going to affect a lot of people.
What's the first lesson he taught you that stuck?
Gosh, if the grass is greener on the other side, water your own grass. And he probably told me that my first year going into coaching at Kell High School in 2002 when they opened the building. In our profession, people move around a lot. I was very fortunate to not have to move for 12 years at one point in my career. I moved schools once, but didn't have to move my family. All 4 of my children were born down here in Brunswick. I was at Glenn Academy for 8 years, Frederica Academy on the island for 4, coming down from Kell in Atlanta. But my path to getting this Brantley job went through Allatoona. So I went back up to Atlanta for a semester to coach with my friend Garrett Varner. We were on staff together at Kell, and then got hired in December after our season was over, and came right back down here to the Golden Isles. And so Brantley County is just one county west of Glenn, so we live down in South Brunswick, and we got to move a little bit. But yeah, if the grass is greener on the other side, water your own grass, and it really helps you keep you grounded for sure.